Good morning. Welcome to Morning Special. 여러분 안녕하세요. 11월 20일 수요일 최수진의 Morning Special입니다. Fashion is arguably a very essential part of our daily lives. Be the brand we wear, the colors we choose, or the mix and match combo we don't. We can't help but take, we can't help but take a quick look at the mirror before stepping out. And to present you with the latest trends, there's no shortage of venues for models to showcase all the fantastic collections. 대구 도시철도공사는요, 이번 주 금요일에 지하철 전동차 안에서 제8회 대구 도시철도 패션쇼를 연다고 밝혔습니다. 오후 2시부터 1시간여 동안 대구 지하철 2호선 전동차 안과 반월당역 환승통로에서 계명대, 대경대 학생 60여 명이 직접 디자인한 의상 30여 점을 선보인다고 합니다. 대구 도시철도공사는요, 시민들이 평소 접하기 어려운 패션쇼를 지하철에서 관람하며 소확행, 작지만 확실한 행복, not 소고기 확실하게 먹는 여행을 느끼도록 하자는 뜻에서 행사를 준비했다고 하네요. Now, sometimes the venue of the fashion show can enhance the experience, and holding it inside a subway train is definitely worth a second and third look. With that in mind, here's the quiz question to start us off today. In fashion, a narrow, usually flat platform used by models to demonstrate clothing and accessories during a fashion show is known as this. 1번, runway. 2번, runaway. 3번, go away. 네, 오늘도 청취자 여러분의 많은 참여 기다리고 있습니다. 퀴즈 정답 보내주신 분들 중에 추첨을 통해서 총 5분께 고칼슘 쌀룬 두유 보내드리겠습니다. 또 소식과 소감 그리고 방송 중 궁금한 질문 있으시면 보내주세요. 짧은 문자 50원, 긴 문자 100원에 샵 1045로 보내주시고요. 반디 게시판이나 카카오톡 플러스 이용도 가능합니다. Okay then, let's kick off today's show with today's global headlines. 세계 각국 언론사들의 어떤 헤드라인이 올라왔는지 살펴보는 시간입니다. Touch Global Headlines.
Two Korean tourists have been released after being trapped inside Hong Kong Polytechnic University.
시위대와 경찰의 격렬한 공방이 이어지는 가운데 한국인 관광객 2명이 홍콩 이공대 교내에 갇혔다가 탈출하는 사건이 발생했습니다.
Houthi rebels have seized 3 boats with 16 people on board, including 2 Korean nationals off the western coast of Yemen.
예멘 서해상에서 한국인 2명 등 16명이 탑승한 선박 3척이 예멘의 후티 반군에 납포됐습니다.
Iran has sought to soften the public impact of increased fuel prices by providing cash handouts to 75% of the population.
이란 정부의 휘발유 가격 인상에 반발한 민심이 시위로 이어지자 이란 당국이 국민 75%의 현금을 지급하는 등 유화책에 나섰습니다.
The EU has agreed on next year's budget, which will allocate more funds towards tackling climate change and youth unemployment.
유럽연합이 기후변화와 청년 실업 대응 등에 초점을 맞춘 2020년도 EU 예산안에 합의했습니다.
The National Assembly has passed a bill that will change the status of firefighters to central government public servants.
전국 소방관을 내년부터 국가직으로 전환하는 법안이 국회 본회의를 통과했습니다. Well, for the headlines and more, I'm joined by Steve. Good morning.
Good morning to you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Did you get that little reference in my opening today? It was for you.
Thank you. I heard the reference and I appreciate it.
네, 그렇습니다. 진은경 님이요. 소고기 확실하게 먹는 여행 하하하 보내주셨는데요. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, a couple of days ago, Steve said, is that what 소확행 means?
Yeah, right. Because that's hard. It's a hard part, you know, when you're not not a native speaker of Korean language or any language for that matter, but I find that in Korean language, there's a lot of these little combination of word things. Then they pop up, they're newly coined terms, and they pop up in the language all the time. It's really difficult to keep up.
Yeah, our writer Paul says that the fact that you actually assumed it was a mixed coined word shows that you are actually a lot more Korean than you think.
It just shows how long I've been here. Yeah, I'm used to that. Hey, what do you think about that? A fashion show on the subway. I think it's an amazing idea.
I think it's so cool.
You have a captive audience.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because when you think of fashion shows, you think, you have to be invited to these sort of events.
Yep.
You have to dress up and all of that. But no, you're just going to work or wherever you're going, and you see these wonderful models with their costumes and everything, and it's just for the public to see, and it's great, I think.
And if you think about it, the way that a fashion show goes, where the models, they come down the catwalk or the
runway,
where the audience is sitting directly on the left and directly on the right, it looks exactly the same as sitting on a subway, right?
Yeah.
You couldn't do it on a bus, number one, because you have to hold on to something when you're on the bus. And number two, the audience, or your quote-unquote audience, is all facing in the same direction.
That's right.
The wrong direction, perhaps. So the subway is the perfect place to do it.
It really is. 1069님이요. 첫 소식으로 대구 소식이네요. 반가워요. 대구 시민으로서 라고 보내주셨습니다. Yeah, so this is going to be in Daegu. If you're there like our listener is right now, then you can maybe go and check it out.
Where else could you do it? Any place other than the subway?
I don't know, actually. I haven't thought about that.
I was thinking the highway would be perfect, but then I thought that's
highway.
crazy dangerous. Well, no, I was thinking like that space. So you know how sometimes the highway is divided into two sections, and so the car's going one way and then the car's going the other way. Maybe if there was like a grassy area in between for the models to walk, but no, that was a terrible idea. The subway is much better.
Paul, our writer, says maybe the underground arcades in Seoul might be an idea.
What about Cheonggae Stream?
Oh, yeah.
You'd need some rubber boots for the models to wade through the water. Hashtag previously learned expression, to wade through something.
Indeed. 네, 여러분 오늘 아침에 이렇게 패션쇼, 그것도 이제 전철에서 하는 패션쇼에 대한 얘기를 나눴는데요. 대구에서 있을 겁니다.
Have you ever wanted to be in a fashion show? Have you ever been a model on a runway before?
I have, actually.
Yeah?
When I was a child,
Yeah.
I went to this university event where you had to showcase your traditional costumes.
Okay.
So I wore the hanbok.
Oh, nice.
And this was in England. So all the different children of different nationalities came and wore their traditional attire.
Yes.
And I walked down the runway. I felt really cool. And that was my one and only experience, but it was really fun.
Oh, that sounds like fun. How was the hanbok received at the time, if you can remember?
People loved it. Of
Yeah.
course, they were like, oh, that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And everyone always says that. It's so colorful, it's nice. And yeah, they want to know where you can buy these. And I'm like, Korea?
Yeah, right. Any fashion designers listening this morning? That was a hint from Sue. She wants to be on the runway once again.
그렇습니다. 헤드라인은요, 모닝스페셜 홈페이지에 들어가셔서 다시 무료로 들으실 수 있습니다. Let's go over the stories.
All right, let's get into it. Headline number 1 this morning. 2 Korean tourists have been released after being trapped inside Hong Kong Polytechnic University.
시위대와 경찰의 격렬한 공방이 이어지는 가운데 한국인 관광객 2명이 홍콩 이공대 교내에 갇혔다가 겨우 탈출하는 사건이 발생했습니다. What happened, Steve?
Well, basically, this was a case of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's right. 2 tourists were trapped inside the school. They did manage to get out after staying up all night amid the fierce standoff between the protesters and the police. And again, this happened at Hong Kong Polytechnic University. So the 2 people in question, the 2 tourists, it was a man in his 30s and a woman in her 20s. And they entered into the school to, quote unquote, take a look, because the engineering school is right next to a very large tourist area in Hong Kong.
침사추이.
Yeah, but they were unable to get out of the school as police blocked the engineering college, and then they conducted intensive crackdown operations. So like I said, wrong place at the wrong time and super bad timing too.
네, 그렇습니다. 30대 남성 그리고 20대 여성 이렇게 2명의 한국인이 이 홍콩 이공대를 그냥 구경하러 갔었다고 합니다. 사실 바로 옆에 홍콩 여행 다녀오신 분들은 잘 아시겠지만 이제 침사추이가 있습니다. 많이들 거기 거기서 먹거리, 볼거리 등등 이제 관광을 하시는데 그 바로 옆에 있었기 때문에 지리적으로는 좀 가까웠던 것 같고요. 그럼에도 불구하고 이제 궁금해서 교내에 잠깐 들어갔다 나오려고 했는데 결국은 24시간 동안 갇히는 일이 있었고요. How did they manage to get out? Because you can't just get out right now.
No, so what they did was they contacted the South Korean Consulate General in Hong Kong at around 5 p.m. and they sent the message SOS. And then in response to that, the Consulate General contacted the Hong Kong police. And then finally around 9:30 p.m., the two tourists, they walked out towards the police. And that would have been a really terrifying moment, actually.
Yeah.
Because you have to walk out there in good faith, right? I read in another article that they walked out, they were holding up their passports and saying, we are Korean or I am Korean. And the police let them go without incident.
네, 그렇습니다. 이렇게 이제 하룻밤을 새면서 이제 어떻게 하지 고민을 많이 했겠죠. 그때 이제 총영사관에 연락을 해서 SOS를 쳤다고 하고요. 결국은 홍콩 주재 총영사관의 도움으로 이제 한국인 2명이 이 대학 안에 있다라고 홍콩 측에 바로 연락을 취했다고 합니다. 그러면서 선처를 바란다. 관광객일 뿐이다. 전혀 이 시위와 관계없는 사람들이다라는 설명을 충분히 했다고 하고요. 그래서 2명이 결국은 이제 손을 들고 여권을 들면서 I am Korean이라고 말을 하면서 이제 나왔다라고 합니다. I mean, it must have been a nightmare for these people. 24 hours stuck in the university.
Absolutely, yeah, and terrifying too. But luckily, they did get out. Some updates for you regarding the situation in Hong Kong. The university standoff is nearing an end. Only a few protesters remain. That's really good news. Social workers say that between 30 and 50 are left after hundreds left the site. And police said by 11 p.m. on Tuesday, so that's last night, right? Almost 800 people had left Polytechnic University, and among those who left, 300 of them were children and were not arrested but could be subject to further investigation. Interesting, though, in 2 days, 400 people were arrested. 400 people were arrested and 1,100 in 2 days total. That's a lot of people.
그렇죠. 이제 경찰이 홍콩 이공대를 포위하고 있는 상황이라고 보실 수 있을 것 같은데요. 어젯밤 기준으로 그래도 학교 안에 있었던 많은 사람들 800여 명 정도는 탈출을 했다라고 보도가 되고 있습니다. 그렇지만 모두 자유의 몸이 된 것은 아닙니다. 그중에 한 400명은 체포가 된 것으로 전해지고 있습니다.
Just one last point here, just to give you an idea of how terrifying that situation would have been. Police revealed that on Monday alone at the campus, they used 1,458 tear gas canisters, 1,391 rubber bullets, 325 beanbag rounds, and 265 sponge bullets on Monday alone.
Oh my goodness. Well, we hope everyone gets out safe. Let's go on to headline number 2.
Houthi rebels have seized 3 boats with 16 people on board, including 2 Korean nationals off the western coast of Yemen.
예멘 서해상에서 한국인 2명 등 16명이 탑승한 선박 3척이 예멘의 후티 반군에 납포됐습니다.
Right, so 3 boats off the western coast of Yemen, and this prompted Seoul to send an anti-piracy maritime unit that was...
Initially they thought it was pirates, right?
Yes, that's what they thought, and they sent that unit that was stationed in nearby Oman to try and save the crews, including 2 Koreans. So one of the ships is a Korean sand dredging ship. It's called the G16, and then there's 2 tugboats that tow that dredging ship, and one of those is Korean, and the other one is Saudi Arabian. So 2 Korean boats in question here. They were seized about 15 miles off the Yemeni island of Kamaran at around 3:50 a.m. on Monday. That according to Korea's Ministry of Foreign Affairs on Tuesday. And like it says in the headline, a total of 16 people of various nationalities were on the vessels, including 2 Korean nationals, both of them in their 60s, and one of them was the captain of the G16, who relayed an emergency message to his shipping company, Woongjin Development, on Monday, saying that pirates had taken over the ships.
네, 그러니까 지금 이렇게 선박 3척이 예멘의 후티 반군에 의해서 납포가 됐는데요. 예멘의 후티 반군은요, 이란의 지원을 받고 있고 시아파라고 보시면 되겠습니다. 이 지역에서는 지금 1,400년이 넘게 시아파와 수니파가 아주 크게 대립을 하고 있죠. 그래서 이제 시아파인 이제 후티 반군 같은 경우에는 한국과는 사실 전혀 상관이 없는 없는 싸움이기 때문에 한국 국적의 선박이라는 것이 확인이 되고 또 이제 한국 국적의 선원이라는 것이 확인이 되면 석방될 것이다 라고 밝혔습니다만 아직까지는 이제 진행 중이라고 합니다. They say the two Koreans are safe, but they have not yet been released. They are set to be released though.
Yeah, that's right. So what happened after the captain sent the emergency message was Korea's foreign ministry contacted the Houthi movement in Yemen, and they did confirm that they had seized the 3 ships and then took them to a port. And according to Reuters, one of the leaders from the Houthi movement said that the captured crew, they're being treated well, they are in good health, and what they wanted to do was to determine whether the ships belonged to quote-unquote countries of aggression or whether they were Korean ships.
Right.
And if they did belong to Korea, that the ship and the crew would be freed.
And when they say countries of aggression, they're probably referring to Saudi Arabia because that's where most of the Sunni population as opposed to, the Shias right now are situated in this region. And of course, the Houthi rebels are the same people who claimed responsibility for a recent explosion to a Saudi oil facility, which of course the US did not believe. But nonetheless, right now we are seeing them with the boats, and the Koreans hopefully will be released soon.
Absolutely, and in response to the seizures, Korea deployed the destroyer ROKS, or Rox Gangamchan, from the Omani capital of Muscat. That happened on Monday morning at 11:17 a.m. and they were sending it to the site of the abductions.
네, 처음에는 이제 해적의 납포로 의심이 됐었기 때문에 각종 준비를 했었지만 이제 확인해 본 결과 해적이 아니라 후티 반군이다. 그리고 말씀드린 대로 풀려날 것으로 예상이 되고 있습니다. Let's go on to our next headline.
Headline number 3, Iran has sought to soften the public impact of increased fuel prices by providing cash handouts to 75% of the population.
이란 정부의 휘발유 가격 인상에 반발한 민심이 시위로 이어지자 이란 당국이 국민 75%의 현금을 지급하는 등 유화책에 나섰습니다.
Right. So Iran is trying to soften the public anger, if we could put it that way, after increased fuel prices. And this after a decision to reduce oil subsidies. This provoked the biggest anti-government demonstrations in 2 years. And following 3 days of protests, the Iranian government on Monday said it would provide monthly cash payments to more than 70% of Iranians to compensate for the higher gas costs.
네, 그렇습니다. 이란 정부가 일단은 1단계로 2천만 명, 600만 가구에게 은행 계좌에 생계 보조금을 지급했다 이렇게 발표를 했고요. 이어서 일주일 정도 간격을 두고 이제 2단계 또 계속해서 현금 지급을 해서 결국은 이제 전체 이란 국민의 75%인 6천만 명, 1,800만 가구의 생계 보조 현금을 지급하기로 했습니다. Now, if we look at the actual cost, it's not a huge amount of money, but nonetheless, it is, I suppose, enough for the people to buy meat. I've seen some of the comparisons to what it could buy and things like that.
Yeah, we talked about this when we talked about the story initially, and even just talking about the price of gas when compared to Korea, it seems very, very reasonable. But these cash handouts, they are significant. The government, they said they will hand out a maximum of 2,050,000 rials. That's over $17 to households of 5. Other families will receive a maximum of 505,000 rials per person. But they will be regular and they will come on a monthly basis.
네, 이 생계 보조금은요. 가격으로 봤을 때는 4인 가족에는 이제 우리 돈으로 17,000원에 해당되고 5인 가족은 2만 원 정도인데요. 이 돈으로 여기서는 이제 소고기나 양고기 2kg 또는 이제 저품질의 쌀은 한 10kg 정도 살 수 있는 돈이라고 합니다. All right, leaving that story there. Oh, actually, we do have another little addition to that story. Amnesty International has said that more than 100 people have died because of the protests there in Iran. So that's something to add to that story as well.
I think nearly 90,000 people had gone out to protest.
Indeed. All right, and just to touch upon an update on our Iran story, not our Iran story, rather, 그 후티 rebels 관련된 헤드라인 2 업데이트 속보가 있습니다. 후티 반군에 납포돼서 억류됐던 한국인 2명이 풀려났다고 정부가 밝혔습니다. 정부 당국자는요, 한국인 2명이 모두 한국 시간으로 오늘 새벽에 석방됐다라고 얘기를 했고요. 안전한 상황인 것으로 파악된다고 밝혔습니다. Alright, they have been freed.
Excellent news.
Indeed. Let's go on to our next headline.
Headline number 4 this morning, the EU has agreed on next year's budget, which will allocate more funds towards tackling climate change and youth unemployment.
유럽연합이 기후변화와 청년 실업 대응 등에 초점을 맞춘 2020년도 EU 예산안에 합의했습니다.
Lawmakers and government officials from the 28 member states, they have agreed to provide around 153.6 billion euros in disbursements next year. EU leaders called for more funds to tackle climate change and youth unemployment. That money, if you're looking for a currency swap there, it's about 170 billion US dollars. That's a lot of money, of course. And the diplomats and parliamentarians, they said that the additional money should be provided to combat climate change, youth unemployment, and to promote digitization.
네, EU에서는 이제 내년도 예산안의 규모는 약 218조 원으로 잡았고요. 그 중에서 21%가 기후 변화 문제 대응에 투입된다고 합니다.
You know, we hear all of these climate protests, climate change protests, and it sounds like the EU is listening, right?
Yeah,
At least
absolutely.
with their budget news. 4 billion euros were put aside for unforeseen circumstances, including possible future costs of Britain leaving the EU without a deal. And a quote from the EU's budget commissioner, Günther Oettinger, he said the 2020 EU budget is about continuity. It will help create jobs, address climate change, and leverage investments all over Europe. It will invest in young people and in making Europe more secure.
네, 그렇습니다. EU 예산의 반 정도는요, EU 경제력 향상에 쓰겠다라고 하면서 그 안에는 일자리 창출도 들어있다고 밝혔습니다. Let's check our final headline.
The National Assembly has passed a bill that will change the status of firefighters to central government public servants.
전국 소방관을 내년부터 국가직으로 전환하는 법안이 마침내 국회 본회의를 통과했습니다.
So the National Assembly passed 89 bills related to people's livelihoods and the economy yesterday on Tuesday. And among the bills the Parliament passed were 6 bills designed to change the status of firefighters to that of central government public servants. The legislation is aimed at operating the fire service policy in a systemic manner and improving treatment of firefighters.
네, 현재는 99%에 육박하는 소방관들이 지방직인데요. 내년 4월부터는 전부 국가직으로 전환이 됩니다. 그렇게 되면은 재정 여건이 나아져서 소방 장비나 처우가 향상될 것으로 예상이 됩니다. Those are our headlines this morning.
They were indeed.
All right, let's remind our listeners of the quiz.
The quiz question this morning, in fashion, a narrow, usually flat platform used by models to demonstrate clothing and accessories during a fashion show is known as blank. Is it number 1, runway, number 2, run away, or number 3, go away?
짧은 문자 50원, 긴 문자 100원에 샵 1045로 보내주시고요. 반디 게시판이나 카카오톡 플러스 이용도 가능합니다. 추첨을 통해서 총 5분께 고칼슘 쌀룬 두유 보내드리겠습니다. We'll be right back after Sia sings Ho Ho Ho. You're listening to Morning Special.
That wasn't your typical sounding Christmas song,
No.
was it? It's kind of I couldn't tell if it was a Christmas song or not.
No, I was waiting to listen to the lyrics as well. I was like, is this a Christmas song or not? And it kind of was, but it, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Not your
But
typical.
who cares? It's great that we're playing Christmas music on the 20th of November. I'm getting into the spirit already. I don't know about you.
No, I see pictures on my social media of my friends in other countries with their Christmas trees and Christmas decorations. I have none of that in my house right now.
Oh, really?
But I am starting to feel the itch. I'm like, maybe I should get myself a Christmas tree.
I'm going to I have one.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I decorate my house every Christmas. Yeah, it's something that I really get into, and it's going to be this weekend. I'm going to put up the tree this weekend, I think.
Love that.
Yeah.
이지현 님이요. 저는 올해 40살이고요. 결혼한 지 6년 차인데요. 평생 남편과 딩크족으로 살 줄 알았는데 천사가 찾아왔습니다. I thought I would always be a double income, no kids sort of person. I'm 40, I've been married for 6 years, but an angel has arrived in our family. 몸이 안 좋아서 병원에 갔더니 임신이래요. 아직도 얼떨떨하지만 축하해 주세요.
Oh, you're having a baby.
Yes.
You said an angel has arrived. I thought the next sentence was, we won the lottery. But a baby is obviously better than that, yeah?
네.
What is dinko로?
Dink.
What's that?
D-I-N-K. Double income, no kids.
Oh, it's one of those combo
It's an
words
English
again.
acronym, Steve.
How can I learn this language?
영어가 너무 어렵답니다, 여러분.
Double income,
no
kids. Dinku. That's a fun one, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a couple of those. I don't remember the other ones, but I thought I was going to be one of these as well. I'm not, but because when you're married, basically this means you get married and have no kids, and so you will just have lots of money, and you don't have to spend it that much.
I'm single.
Single income, no kids. 싱크족이시군요.
I feel like we're focusing on the wrong part of the message here.
Yes,
Congratulations.
Congratulations. 네, 임신 축하드립니다. 태명이 Fortune이라고 하셨는데요. That's a lovely nickname for your baby. A bundle of fortune, I'm sure he or she is.
English nickname right there.
Yeah, absolutely. 8915님이요. 모하 하셨습니다. 모닝 스페셜 하이. 오늘부터 기말고사가 시작되는 안양 부흥중학교 여학생입니다. 1교시부터 수학이라서 진이 빠지지만 오늘 아침도 모스 들으면서 힘내요. 수진쌤, 스티브쌤 목소리 완전 좋다고요. 정말. 시험 잘 보게 응원해주세요. 그럼 엄청나게 잘 볼 것 같아요. First day of the end of term exams today. The student is in middle school. They want us to wish them luck.
Oh, please do. Have all of the luck in the world. Take all of my luck today.
Take all of my luck too.
You can give it back to us tomorrow, but you can take it today.
우리의 모든 행운과 복을 드리겠습니다. Good luck. All right, we'll keep sending in your messages and greetings. Today we have 5 고칼슘 쌀룬 두유s to give out. Okay, let's check our very first news focus story. 목성의 위성 유로파에서 수증기 형태로 물의 존재가 확인됐습니다. 미국 항공우주국 나사는 유로파가 올림픽 규격의 수영장을 수분 만에 채울 수 있는 양의 물을 내뿜는 것을 확인했다고 밝혔는데요. Let's listen to the story.
A team led by researchers out of NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center in Greenbelt, Maryland, has confirmed traces of water vapor above the surface of Jupiter's icy moon Europa. According to a paper published in the journal Nature Astronomy on Monday, the NASA team discovered enough water vapor being released from Europa to fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool within minutes. NASA's upcoming Europa Clipper mission will get a much closer look at the icy moon's surface as early as 2023.
So they haven't actually found water, but the closest thing to water is vapor where you can, pretty much get water.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's the next best thing. That's the way NASA put it. And this is pretty cool because this is all about the search for life in outer space, right? And we have water here on planet Earth, and to sustain life, you need water. And it's not liquid water, but they found, but as they say, it is the next best thing.
네, 지금 보이는 라디오로 영상을 띄워드리고 있는데요. 지구 밖에서 물 다음으로 가장 물에 가까운 형태의 수증기를 발견했다는 얘기고요. This, of course, could lead to, looking into possible life in outer space.
Exactly. Do you believe in it?
I don't know.
I do.
Yeah?
I just think it's really arrogant to believe or to think that
We're the only
we're
living
the
beings.
only ones. That seems a little far-fetched to me. But yeah, they're going to do this this trip, the Europa Clipper mission, coming up in 2023 or as early as 2023. And I think they're going to do around 45 flybys. I think I read that. See if they can gather some more evidence.
All right.
Let's start with that expression since I just mentioned it. This Europa Clipper mission from NASA could be as early as 2023. So, when you say as early as,
Yes.
it implies that something is early, really early, in terms of time. But the time is relative. So let me give you an example. Maybe if your wife or husband asks you, what time are you going to be home today? And you say, I could be there as early as 4 o'clock. And what that means is 4 o'clock is earlier than usual, or at least it's an early time, right? Let me give you another example. If you say, Steve, when are you I heard you're moving to Canada. When are you moving? Well, it could be as early as January.
I see.
Sentence example, I'm not going anywhere. But January, now if you think about the time reference, January is very quick, right? It's only a couple of months away. And that's why we would say as early as. And what that also means is that is the earliest possible time. It could be later. It could be later, but that's the earliest possible time.
네, 빠르면이라는 뜻인데요. As early as라고 해서 이르면, 빠르면, 언제라는 거고요. 그러니까 2023년 그렇게 오래 남지 않았죠? 빠르면은 이쯤에 우리가 수증기 이미지를 아마 볼 수 있을 것이다. 이렇게 과학자들은 보고 있고요.
And the opposite expression would be as late as.
As late as.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the reason they are excited here in this story, the reason NASA is excited because they have confirmed traces of water vapor. So a trace of something means there's a little evidence that it exists. So let's say that you eat some soup.
Okay.
And in that soup, you think you taste, name some spice, any spice.
Rosemary.
Okay, so you taste the soup and you go, I think there's a trace of rosemary, isn't there? Meaning a little evidence that rosemary is in the soup. Just a hint of. That's an alternative expression.
By the way, I would never be able to know if there was any herb in a soup.
You don't have a refined palate?
I really don't. Trace of something 그러면 뭐뭐의 흔적이라는 뜻입니다. 그래서 수증기에 흔적이 있다는 것은 이제 확인을 했고요. 더 정밀한 어떤 사진은 우리가 몇 년을 기다리면 볼 수 있지 않을까 싶네요.
Can I give you one more example?
Please do.
If Sue changes her hairstyle and I say two sentence possibilities. Number one, oh, Sue, nice hair. Or I say, nice hair, Sue. Now, sentence number two, Sue might say,
Where are we going with this?
Is that a trace of sarcasm
I see,
in
I
your
see.
voice? A little hint that sarcasm exists.
네, 선생님 목소리에 비꼬는 게 좀 느껴지는 것 같은데요. 흔적이 있어요. 다시 한번 들어보겠습니다.
I love your hair, by the way.
Thank you.
A team led by researchers out of NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center in Greenbelt, Maryland, has confirmed traces of water vapor above the surface of Jupiter's icy moon Europa. According to a paper published in the journal Nature Astronomy on Monday, the NASA team discovered enough water vapor being released from Europa to fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool within minutes. NASA's upcoming Europa Clipper mission will get a much closer look at the icy moon's surface as early as 2023.
자, 두 번째 뉴스 포커스입니다. 베네치아는 도시 자체가 하나의 거대한 예술 작품입니다. 유네스코도 베네치아의 역사 문화적 가치를 인정해서 1987년 도시 전체를 세계유산으로 지정해 보호하고 있는데요. 53년 만에 닥친 최악의 수해로 베네치아의 수많은 문화유산이 소실되거나 훼손될 위기에 처하면서 시민들이 자발적으로 문화재 살리기 운동에 나서고 있습니다. Let's take a listen.
Venice Calls, a volunteer-based environmental group founded in 2018, is active in tidying up libraries, churches, and cultural institutions that have been damaged by the floodwaters in the Italian city. In the past few days, members of the group have participated in efforts to save the treasures of a museum and damaged books from a library. More than 50 churches have also suffered from damages caused by flooding. The city's iconic St. Mark's Basilica received the brunt of the damage since it is located closest to the lagoon in one of the lowest points of Venice.
네, 최악의 수해로 지금 베네치아가 몸살을 앓고 있습니다. 이 소식도 저희가 일부 그 헤드라인에서 여러 날 지금 다루고 있는데요. We've talked about the floods for a few days. It's really bad. And the whole city now is saying we need to protect this city.
Especially from happening again,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But lots of people are getting out. Lots of people are volunteering now to try to clean up or tidy up the mess that has been caused by the floodwaters.
Right.
So that's our first expression from this story, to tidy up. It means to clean up a mess. So after you eat dinner, then you have a bunch of dirty what?
Dishes.
Dishes. So after dinner, you have a bunch of dirty dishes. You have a dirty table, kitchen table. So after dinner, you say, okay, everybody, come on, let's tidy up. If you have a messy bedroom, lots of clothing on the floor, socks and t-shirts and pants are everywhere. Then you have guests coming over, you probably want to tidy up.
네, 그렇습니다. Tidy up는 정리하다, 청소하다라는 의미가 있는데요. Clean up랑 비슷하다고 보시면 될 것 같습니다. It's a bit similar to clean up.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Kind of, yeah.
Yep.
Tidy up. 그래서 tidy한 사람이다. 그럼 굉장히 깔끔한 사람이다라는 뜻이고요. Okay, and the St. Mark's Basilica has received the brunt of the damage?
Yeah, the brunt of means the most of or the worst part.
Right.
So if you are an employee in a company and you're on a team, but for some reason your boss is always criticizing you, not your coworkers, then you take the brunt of your boss's criticism. Oh, I'm so tired at work these days. My coworkers, they make mistakes too, but I get the brunt of my boss's criticism, or I get the brunt of my boss's anger. That's one example. Let's say that your same example, your coworkers, they're always making jokes, right? But for some reason, they're always making jokes about you. Then you are take the brunt of their jokes.
네, 그렇습니다. 큰 타격을 받는다라는 의미인데요. St. Mark's Basilica가 특히나 많은 타격을 받았다, 큰 타격을 받았다 이런 의미로 해석을 하면 될 것 같습니다. Alright, well let's listen to this story one more time.
Venice Calls, a volunteer-based environmental group founded in 2018, is active in tidying up libraries, churches, and cultural institutions that have been damaged by the floodwaters in the Italian city. In the past few days, members of the group have participated in efforts to save the treasures of a museum and damaged books from a library. More than 50 churches have also suffered from damages caused by flooding. The city's iconic St. Mark's Basilica received the brunt of the damage since it is located closest to the lagoon in one of the lowest points of Venice.
Let's remind our listeners of the quiz.
Quiz question this morning. In fashion, a narrow, usually flat platform used by models to demonstrate clothing and accessories during a fashion show is known as blank. Number 1, runway. Number 2, runaway. Or number 3, go away.
네, 짧은 문자 50원, 긴 문자 100원에 샵 1045로 보내주시고요. 반디 게시판이나 카카오톡 플러스 이용도 가능합니다. 고칼슘 살룬두유 보내드릴게요. Michael Bublé sings our next song. This is Come Fly With Me. 자, 다음 뉴스 포커스 살펴볼게요. 제2차 세계대전 당시 나치 수용소에서 경비원으로 근무한 93세 남성이 70년 만에 법의 심판을 받게 될 전망입니다. 독일 사법당국은 당사자와 피해자들이 고령인 만큼 어쩌면 마지막이 될 수도 있는 재판을 잘 마무리하기 위해 각별한 주의를 기울이고 있다고 하는데요. Let's listen to the story.
In what could possibly be the last court case of its kind, a former Nazi concentration camp guard is on trial in Hamburg. Bruno Dai, who joined the SS in his teens, buried his face on his recent arrival at court in a wheelchair on the third day of a 23-day trial scheduled to run until late February. Facing 5,230 counts of accessory to murder, Dai claimed in a statement he had no knowledge of the mass murders underway at the Stutthof concentration camp.
네, 지금은 이제 93세지만 브루노 다이 씨는요, 10대 때 친위대 SS에 가입을 했다고 하고요. 1944년부터 이제 스투토프 수용소에서 경비원으로 근무를 했습니다. 그때 이제 한 5,200여 건의 살인을 방조한 혐의로 기소된 겁니다. So he didn't, participate in the killings, but he's convicted of.
He's connected to. That's right.
Yeah.
And the reason some of these cases have taken so long is right after the war, only those directly connected to the crimes were targeted, right? And if you were a guard, the guards were not directly connected to specific crimes, they just weren't on the radar radar of the prosecutors at that time.
Right.
But now, as time has passed, and by the way, another thing was in the judicial system I read, there were still some leftovers, if you will, of the Nazi party. So that's another reason why some of this has taken some time, because those people needed to be removed or at least retire. And now new people come in and they look at more cases, and that's why we're looking at Bruno Dai now.
네, 그렇습니다. 그런데 이제 여러 번의 인터뷰가 있었습니다. 이분에 대해서 그때 알고 있었느냐, 도왔느냐 이런 질문을 받았을 때 나는 거기서 이제 사람들이 그렇게 죽임을 당하는지는 학살을 당하는지는 몰랐다라고 얘기는 했지만 수백 명의 사람들이 수용소에 들어가는 걸 봤고 그다음에 비명 소리를 많이 들었다. 거기까지만 나는 안다. 그리고 이제 나중에 시신을 봤다. 그렇지만 거기서 학살됐는지는 몰랐다. 이렇게 주장을 했거든요. I mean, some of the things he said a bit conflicting because he said he knew that hundreds of people were going into the camps. He heard screaming, lots of screaming, but he didn't know that they were being killed. And then later on he said he did see bodies, but he said he just didn't know that those facilities that he was helping with.
It's hard to believe, but that's why you have a trial.
Indeed. And of course, the whole aim of this is not really to get him into prison because he's 93. But I think it's to get the facts out there.
Absolutely. So this could be the last court case of its kind. So let's look at that expression, the last of its kind. It means that it is the last one, and there probably won't be any more after that. So you can look at an old car, right? So let's say that your friend has an old style car from maybe the 1960s or something like that. And your friend says, there aren't any other cars like this.
Yeah.
They don't exist anymore. This is the last of its kind. It's the only one remaining. And again, it implies there won't be any more, just like this kind of court case.
네, 이런 종류로는 마지막이다라는 뜻의 the last of its kind가 쓰였는데요. 이런 재판으로서는 이제 그러니까 지금 그 홀로코스트 서바이버 그리고 그때 당시에 실제로 있었던 그런 인물들로 이뤄진 재판으로서는 특히 이제 방조죄 그런 재판으로 마지막이 되지 않겠느냐 이런 겁니다. Yeah, because they're quite old, as you said.
Yeah, he's 93 years old, right?
Exactly.
So he joined the SS in his teens, and when he arrived at court in a wheelchair recently, he buried his face. Now, to bury something, usually when we talk about burying, we're talking about digging a hole in the ground, putting something in the ground, and then putting dirt on top of it, right? A time capsule would be a good example of burying something. But we can do this with our face as well, and what it means is you are hiding your face from other people seeing you. What's that bird?
꽝.
Huh?
No, okay, sorry.
The bird that buries its head in the ground.
꽝.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just naming random birds. Right, so the ostrich, right? The ostrich,
Is it the ostrich?
buries its head in the
What's it
ground. Or
called
the
in English?
emu, maybe?
No, okay, well, apparently the ostrich does that too. I was thinking of a different bird.
Could be a different bird. Anyway, the point is there is one bird, and I guess what they do is they bury their head in the ground. That's literally. But in this case, when you bury your face, you hide your face. You're hiding it, right?
I was thinking of the pheasant.
Oh.
That is a 꽝.
Do
But
they-
we use this expression a lot in Korea.
Do pheasants bury their head
That's
in the
what I
ground?
heard. 그렇지 않나요? 꽝이 이제 숨으려고 할 때 머리만 아닌가요? 타조인가요? 네, 뭐 제가 조류 전문가가 아니다 보니까 틀릴 수도 있습니다. 어쨌든 이제 bury one's face 그러면은 땅 속에다 얼굴을 이렇게 파묻는다라는 뜻인데 보통은 이렇게 좀 창피하거나 그런 상황일 때 얼굴을 가린다라는 뜻이 있고요. 실제로 그때 이제 직접 가담을 하지 않았다라고 주장을 하고 있지만 어쨌든 관련된 어떤 일을 한 것만은 분명하기 때문에 본인도 굉장히 수치스러워 하는 것 같습니다. He buried his face. All right, let's listen to the story one more time.
In what could possibly be the last court case of its kind, a former Nazi concentration camp guard is on trial in Hamburg. Bruno Dai, who joined the SS in his teens, buried his face on his recent arrival at court in a wheelchair on the third day of a 23-day trial scheduled to run until late February. Facing 5,230 counts of accessory to murder, Dai claimed in a statement he had no knowledge of the mass murders underway at the Stutthof concentration camp.
Let's announce the answer to the quiz now.
The answer to the quiz is... Well, let's do the question first.
All right.
In fashion, a narrow, usually flat platform used by models to demonstrate clothing and accessories during a fashion show is known as a number one runway.
1번이 정답입니다. 주지인님, 박금단님, 6479님, 그리고 4065님, 그리고 장원준님 축하드립니다. 고칼슘 살룬 두유 보내드릴게요. And a lot of our listeners are saying... Yes, it is ostriches that bury their heads
right.
in the sand.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Thank you very much.
Not the pheasant.
All right, thanks. Okay, what is... Oh, actually a little a message. Do we have that? Okay. Well, I think we'll look at the messages. 네. 조명님이요. 사촌동생이 다음 주에 런웨이 서는데 응원해주세요. 처음이거든요. 라고 보내주셨어요. Wow, good luck.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice one.
All right, Steve, what is today's expression?
Let's do this. As early as or as late as. Okay, and the reason I chose this is because you can use it at home, you can use it with your friends, or it's very useful in business English as well. So let's say that you get an email from your client or a phone call from your client, and your client asks you, did your company make a decision yet about blah, 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 blah? You can say no, but a decision could be made by as early as next week or next month or next year. Now, the time is relative.
Yeah.
And the reason I said next week, next month, and next year, all of those are possible. It depends on the context. If the situation is early, if next week would be really early for a decision, or next month would be really early, then we can use as early as next month.
그렇습니다. 이르면 언제라고 할 때 as early as를 쓰고요. 늦으면 할 때는 as late as를 씁니다. 근데 이제 상황에 따라서 얘기를 하는 거죠. You wouldn't say, yeah, I mean, I'll get back to you as early as 5 years from now. You wouldn't say that.
No, because that there's no way 5 years can be early,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So it depends.
Unless
Yeah.
NASA says people could be living on Mars by as early as 2026.
Exactly.
That would be early, so therefore you could say as early as. One final sentence example. Oh, you're getting married? Congratulations. When are you guys getting married? We're not sure yet, but it could be as early as spring.
All right, fantastic. As early as 그리고 as late as 오늘의 표현이 되겠습니다. Before we wrap up the first hour, let's quickly go back to that listener whose cousin is going to be walking on the runway next week. It's the first time ever for this cousin to be strutting and doing their stuff on the runway. So we want to say good luck once again properly.
Absolutely. Send in some pictures if you can.
Oh, yeah.
Must be a very nerve-wracking experience walking down a runway for the very first time, yeah?
네, 그렇습니다. 조명님이 조금 전에 제가 소개해드린 사연, 사촌동생이 처음으로 다음 주에 런웨이에 선다고 말씀을 해주셨는데요. 또 마침 우리 오늘 퀴즈의 정답이 런웨이이기도 해서 정말 행운을 빈다는 good luck의 말씀을 드리고 싶고요. 얼마나 지금 떨리겠어요. Maybe you're speechless or breathless. I'm trying to tie that into a song there.
Well, regardless, thank you for having me
Thank
this
you,
morning.
Steve.
I'll be back tomorrow.
All right. Well, we're going to listen to Breathless by The Cause, and when we come back, we have part 2 of Morning Special.